Hello lovely human beings, it's Loretta with Sparrowhawker Designs. Welcome back to my channel. So I made this really cute small quilt themed journal. This will be for sale in my shop, which I'll link below. I think it measured, let's see, it measures 4 3/4 by 7. It is in a book. It's a William Faulkner book, so I'm okay with tearing his book up because he tortured me in high school. So anyway, yeah, starry silk ribbon here. And there are a bunch of different digital kits in here. I actually, I really like using digital kits. Every now and then I like to do something like the last video where it's just all me and all my stuff and be a little more creative with what you use, but I actually really like using digitals, and I know for a fact that there is, I think, 2 kits in here by My Porch Prints, and then there are a couple of other kits, and I do not remember who they are, but I will try to put it in the description box below. So this is a picture of a lady sewing on a sewing machine in the early days. I got this image from Pinterest. This is not mine. Got a little bit of tatting here and just some stuff, right? This is pretty, I won't say it's plain, but this is definitely a writing journal rather than kind of an artsier journal. And I still had fun with it though. I love picking out papers for people. I just do. It's one signature, but it's got quite a few pages. I think it's 60 pages, and so that would be 120 sides. Anyway, here's a little pocket. This is a log cabin quilt. And there you go. There's that. And then there's this neat little advertisement here where somebody is telling the ladies of the world that it's a good skill to be able to knit for the men in your life. Not for the women, apparently, but the men. And I find that really funny. And then this is a sewing button page. Writing and writing. There are a combination of tea-dyed papers in here and digital kits. And there's probably some music paper in here somewhere. This is My Porch Prints here. Isn't that just lovely? I love those pastels. This was just a stamp that I put on a paper bag, and then I think I put a tea bag over it and just made a little tuck spot out of it. Here is a copy of a check for a sewing machine. Right? I know many of you can relate to that. This is on vintage cookbook paper, so I think it's Betty Crocker, one of those 3-ring binders. This, in fact, here is a recipe for whole wheat bread. But you could decorate this side if you wanted, maybe with a picture of your own quilt. This is a lace kit that I got off of Etsy. And to be honest, I mean, all of the digital kits came from Etsy. So if you just went on there and typed in digital download for journal, quilt themed, they're all going to come up. Everything that I've used is going to come up. So this is one of my original pictures, and I put some tatting here. And then this little card. Nothing, you know, nothing says olden days to me quite like tatting does. Here comes my dog. Because nobody has time to tat anymore. I mean, it is really time. You spend I know how, but you spend like hours and you get this little piece. So, at least that's been my experience anyway. And then here we go on some vintage music paper. This is Velcro down here. Pull this up, and there's this neat little picture of this lady and her amazing quilt. So there's the Velcro and here's the Velcro. So I would just make sure you get your finger in there. Don't just yank, or because otherwise the fabric is really old. This is from like the 60s. So it's liable to start shredding. So I would just make sure you get your finger in there and kind of hold before you pull back. Some tea-dyed paper. This is one of the paper clips that I learned how to make from Pinterest. I have these in the other journal as well. I made like 6 of them, and I really like them. They were fun, and I get to use my Tim Holtz paper dolls too. This is a quilt that's in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. This is one of the Mountain Mist patterns. I just did some stamping on the back. There's a paper doily. I made that little ephemera there. And this is a pocket, and inside is this piece of paper. It's called Hometown Notes because this is actually, I don't know how many quilters I have watching, but if you're familiar at all with Lori Holt and Bee in My Bonnet, she does fabric for Riley Blake. And when she has a sew along, you'll get like this downloaded thing of all these, you know, instructions or whatever. And there's usually something like this in here so you can take notes. So I just printed off several copies onto this really cool, I think this might be parchment or rice paper. I don't know what this stuff is, but I have a whole ream of it. And it's vintage. The paper is actually from the 50s. maybe the 60s. Yeah, it came from a school that was going all digital, and they had all these reams of this really old paper that they never got around to using. This is pink. So guess who wanted it? Me. This crazy quilt is amazing. It's one of the best ones that's been preserved. And then I made that little tuck spot. So this is, you know, when you get buttons, how they come on like that cardboard card. That's what this is. They're only 10 cents. So I imagine this is not super old, but it's probably at least from the 40s or 50s. I don't know, maybe not quite that old, but whatever. It's old, older than now. Some vintage dictionary paper. And then I think this is a Rose of Sharon or a rose wreath pattern. Love it. And this is more of my Porch Prince, her digital kit. This is just a little tuck that opens up, little spot there for secrets. And then this is on the other side. There are, I think, 3 of these in here. These came from the graphics fairy, and I printed them off on that cool pink old paper. And this one is all about how to get this color orange. I just thought that was so cool. It's like clearly somebody that maybe was dyeing her own fabrics or something like that. This is an envelope. It's from a digital kit, and I don't remember which one it was, but a neat little quilt pattern on it. And this is some embroidery, and I don't remember, this might be mine and I just photocopied it and printed it off, or it might have come from a kit. I can't remember which it is, but I do have some old embroidery pages like that I have photocopied before. So anyway, some music paper with some gesso. Here's the center of the book. The other side of that music paper. So I made this little pocket, and just a little tag goes in there. there's the other part of that embroidery paper. I just love it. I think it's beautiful. And I printed it on that old pink paper. But yeah. There's also some tea dye and coffee dyed paper in here. It's graph paper. I think that's really pretty. And this is dictionary paper, and inside is a bookmark. Part of the reason I did this like this is because anytime like you have these, let me see if I can find one, like let's say this was open up top or whatever, because of how high it comes up, it's gonna be sticking out of the book like that. So the only way I could figure out how to do it, since it's the same length as the page basically, was to just glue these sides of this. And so now you've got this pocket for bookmarks or tags. It can be a tag, it doesn't have to be a bookmark. And I thought that was really cute. It's the other side of that crazy quilt. And then there's that lady and her two babies and her beautiful quilt. So this and the card that it's on, I think, yeah. And actually I think I backed this card. So the card and these scissors and this little sticker came from, let's see if I can remember. They sent me, oh, here we go. It came from Your Creative Studio. Your Creative Studio. So I did an unboxing for them. I think it's been almost a year ago. It might be a half a year ago. And these cards and this ephemera was inside. It was an adorable little box of stuff. And the one they sent me was all sewing themed, so I thought that was kind of cool. Just another one of those tags. This right here is just the flap on an envelope, and here's the other side of the envelope. It's glued down, so it's not going anywhere. But here's the other side of the envelope, and this card as well is also from Your Creative Studio. There's a little tag in there. And I made this tag. This is an image from Pinterest. It's a lady in her crazy quilt dress, which I think is really cool. And then the back of it is, yeah. This is, I'm not really sure what this pattern is. This part is a Lone Star. I think this is called a Broken Star, I think, or Bethlehem Star, because like the middle of it is a Lone Star for sure. And then you have these little things around it. I thought it was pretty. I'll probably never make one, just for the record, but I love it. And then here's a little pocket with an envelope, and inside is oh, I found this years ago. This is a copy, but it's ephemera, or not ephemera. It's a swatch. Back in the day, women used to have like a book that they would put a little swatch in because they had to get their fabric from like the general store or whatever, so they would keep track of that kind of thing, like where they, how much they need, what they use, that kind of thing. Anyway, I thought that was really cute. And then this is a little lace pocket on, that's more of that cookbook paper. And in here is an original photograph. This one's mine. Just look how that lady's dressed, man. She is dressed to the nines. That's probably late teens, 19, 18, something like that. Quilts hanging on the clothesline. So pretty. More buttons and needles. This is a card that I made. I backed it with dictionary paper. And this is also one of those button cards that your buttons would come on. And then this is one of my pictures. It's a copy. I love that picture. And then here's some stamping. And then in this little tuck here is another one of these things from the graphics fairy, talking about how to get this purple color. And then this pulls out. And again, it's more on how to get like this color purple, or how much of this purple to order or something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I thought, how cool is that? Anyway, that's and then so if you pull it this way, you can put a picture here right on it, right on the back of it, and then that's that little tuck right there. So I just thought this was so cute. I actually have another one of these just about ready to go. Not quite. And then I also have a bigger one that I'm working on that's not quite so tamed. And this is actually like a cardboard, and I think that came from some Hobby Lobby, I think. And so yeah, there we go. This will be for sale in my Square shop, my online shop. I have left Etsy. And the shop, I have quite a few things in the shop that aren't necessarily journal related. I've got some bezeled cabochons that I beaded. I've got lots of journals, and I think I'm going to try to get my slow stitch kits put up there. I haven't done that yet. So anyway, so that's that. Now the other thing, I've already done a flip through of this garden journal, but I forgot to list it. Like, I made it, I think like May or June, and I totally forgot to list it. So I will list this in my shop along with the quilt journal as well. And I think I'm getting ready. So what I'm doing is I'm putting up some of the leftover stock that I usually, not these big journals, but the small journals are left over from craft fairs from last year. So I make up a ton of paper bag journals and small journals and stuff like that to take to the craft fairs, and whatever doesn't sell, sometimes I'll take it back the next year, but I figure I should probably have fresh stock. So I end up putting them in my shop whenever they don't, whatever doesn't move. So I am busy putting that up in my shop. So all right, and I have, for those of you who were wanting to know, I have also started a new slow stitch project. I'll probably maybe have a video on that. I might bring you along the next time I make a journal. I'm thinking about it now that I have this better setup. I think I can probably be able to work, although I would be working upside down. I'm not sure how to work that out. I'll think on it. Anyway, I'm not doing like a flip through of this. I just kind of, in case you didn't see that other video. So this will also be in my shop. So all right, that's all for me, and I will talk to you later. I hope everybody is doing well and looking forward to, I know I'm looking forward to cooler weather. So I hope you guys are too, because I'm ready for it. It's like 95 degrees here where I live, and it's the middle of September. I'm so tired of it. So anyway, all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a lovely day. Bye.